I first saw that house when I took the wrong turn. My name is Michael Gray. I was born and raised in Iowa, among flat roads, endless cornfields, and towns that look like they were forgotten sometime in the 90s. In places like that, nothing ever happens, or at least that's what we tell ourselves so we can sleep at night. I worked as an insurance claims inspector. My job was to drive through the backroads, assessing damage from fires, floods, faulty wiring, and human stupidity. That evening, my GPS led me onto a county road I didn't remember ever seeing before. Dusk was settling over the fields, the sky darkening to the color of old tin. And then, between the rows of corn, a house emerged. It stood too close to the road, as if it were waiting. 2 stories tall, peeling white paint, a sagging porch, and windows that looked like dark, empty eyes. There was no name on the mailbox, only scratches, as if someone had scraped a plate away with a knife. The car stalled. I swore, stepped out, and tried to start the engine again. The silence was unnatural, no crickets, no wind, just the smell of damp soil and old wood. Damn it, I muttered. The porch light flicked on the exact moment I sat back behind the wheel. The door was opened by a woman in her early 40s. Thin, with dark hair pulled into a tight ponytail. "You broke down," she said. Not asking. Her voice was calm, but her eyes were too attentive. "Yes, my name's Michael. Could I use your phone? Cell service doesn't work out here," she replied. "But we have a landline." "I'm Alice Walker." I stepped inside. The house smelled of dust, old books, and something metallic. It was colder inside than it was outside. Family photographs hung on the walls, but the faces were strangely blurred, as if someone had deliberately wiped them with a damp cloth. "Do you live here alone?" I asked. "Now I do." She didn't explain, and I didn't push. The phone didn't work. Just dead silence on the line. "You can stay the night," Alice said. "The road isn't safe after dark." I agreed, more out of exhaustion than trust. The guest room was on the 2nd floor. The bed creaked when I sat down, the sound far too loud. The walls were covered with old wallpaper, its pattern repeating, but never quite the same way twice, as if it kept making mistakes. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up. At first, I thought I was dreaming. Then I heard the voice. "Michael." The whisper didn't come from the hallway. It came from the walls. "It's just the house," I told myself. "Old houses make noise." "Michael," the voice repeated, closer. I sat up in bed. The air felt thick, like the moment before a storm. "You're a guest here," the voice said, "and guests don't stay." I switched on the light. The silence returned instantly. Over breakfast, I told Alice about the night. She didn't look surprised. "Houses remember," she said, stirring her coffee. "Especially the ones where people tried very hard to forget." "What does that mean?" "It means you should leave as soon as your car starts." I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't. The car finally started around noon. I was about to drive off when I noticed a man standing in the yard. He was near an old barn, tall, wearing a dark coat. "Do you see him?" I asked Alice. She went pale. "There's no one there." The man smiled at me. "You've already heard the house," he said. "That means it's accepted you." I blinked, and the yard was empty. I drove away. But I didn't get far. 3 miles down the road, I ended up back at the same house. The GPS showed a straight line. Cold fear wrapped around my chest. The following days stretched like a bad dream. I tried to leave dozens of times. Every road led me back. The house began to change. New rooms appeared. Hallways grew longer. Doors opened into places they shouldn't have. At night, the voices multiplied. "Michael, remember, stay." Alice finally told me the truth. This place was a refuge, she said, for people who were running. In the 30s, they hid those no one wanted to look for. Then others came. The house learned how to keep them. Keep who? Everyone. I found the basement by accident. The stairs led down, but they felt endless. Names were carved into the walls. John Carter, Emily Rose, Thomas Blake, hundreds of names. Among them mine. "It writes them in advance," Alice said. "If the house knows your name, you already belong to it, and you." She lowered her eyes. "Mine is there too." The man from the yard appeared again. "I'm Henry," he said. "I was the first." "The first what?" "The first who didn't get away." He placed his hand against the wall, and it shuddered. "The house grows," Henry said. "It needs stories, memories, voices." I decided to burn it down. There was gasoline in the barn, matches in the kitchen. When the flame touched the wall, the house screamed. Not metaphorically. A real scream, made of 1,000 voices. The walls shifted. hallways collapsed. The floor rippled like water. Alice grabbed my hand. "It's too late," she said. "It already knows you well enough." I woke up on the porch. The morning was clear. The house stood quietly, just as it always had. The car was gone. In my pocket, I found keys, old, rusted ones. "You're here now," the familiar voice said from the walls. "Now you remember." I stepped inside. A new photograph had appeared on the hallway wall. My portrait. And sometimes, when someone takes the wrong turn on that road, I step out onto the porch and turn on the light, because the house is hungry, and it is always waiting.